This DVD is intended to explain the basic installation instructions for Hott Topper. Because it is impossible to address every conceivable installation, this DVD will deal with one basic scenario. Your specific installation may require a different installation path. The installation scenario we will be using is coming out of the downspout and connecting to an outside electrical outlet with a GFI. There is one part of the installation procedure that cannot be altered in any way. It is always imperative that when dealing with electrical components, you utilize the professional skills of a state-licensed electrician. All electrical connections must be completed by a state-licensed electrician. If you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to contact Gutter Covers International. Before we get started, let's review the tools needed to install Hott Topper. You will need a battery-powered drill with 1/8 inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch drill bits, as well as a 3/4 inch keyhole saw, a 3/4 inch outside diameter by 1/2 inch inside diameter grommet, and your normal gutter topper installation drill bits and tools. You will also need a rivet gun with 1/8 inch rivets, matching the color of the gutter topper, a drywall knife, wire cutters, utility knife, pliers, heat gun or torch, and tin snips. Now let's get to the installation procedures for Hott Topper. Before installing Hott Topper, it is important to clean off the nose of the gutter topper upon which the Hott Topper will be installed. We recommend using Crud Cutter. If the gutter topper is extremely dirty, it may be necessary to allow the cleaner to soak on the gutter topper for a short period of time before wiping it off. The next step is to remove two gutter topper panels, one above the downspout, which will be used, and the other which is located next to the last gutter topper panel upon which the Hott Topper will be installed. As we mentioned earlier, this example has the Hott Topper connected to an outside electrical outlet. Now this is very important. Anytime the state-licensed electrician connects the Hott Topper to a 110 electrical outlet, they must use an outlet with a ground fault interrupt, or what's commonly called a GFI or GFCI. Drill a hole in the bottom of the downspout using your 3/4 inch keyhole saw. Make sure you drill the hole low enough for you to reach up and direct the Hott Topper wire through the drilled opening. Install the 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch grommet into the drilled opening. Now feed the wire down the downspout and direct it through the grommet at the bottom. If the downspout has an elbow, it may be necessary to remove the downspout to make it easier to feed the wire. In this case, make sure you have enough wire to cover the distance from the downspout to the electrical outlet with the GFI. Using a sealant such as Geosil, which we recommend, seal the wire coming out of the grommet. Now run the Hott Topper wire down the bottom of the gutter underneath the hangers. Using a 3/8 inch drill bit, drill a hole in the nose at the end of the last piece of gutter topper upon which the Hott Topper will be installed, and insert a grommet. Feed the length of the Hott Topper wire up through the grommet and position the wire on the nose of the gutter topper, securing it with small pieces of the tape specifically designed for the Hott Topper application. Do not use any other tape to secure the wire to the nose. Taking a Hott Topper heat diffuser panel, position it on top of the wire and the gutter topper. While putting pressure on the diffuser to make sure it fits snug against the gutter topper, drill a hole using your 1/8 inch drill bit. Insert a rivet, securely tying the two pieces together. The rivet hole should be drilled at the top of the diffuser, closest to the roof and farthest away from the gutter lip. Move down the heat diffuser panel and insert a rivet at every other area where there are no perforations. Continue the heat diffuser panel installation down the gutter line and installing the next diffuser panel with an approximate 1 inch overlap over the previous panel. You will probably come across a situation where you will need to install a diffuser panel over an area where two pieces of gutter topper are connected. In this case, remove the zip screw closest to the gutter to allow the diffuser panel to sit flush against the gutter topper, and replace the zip screw with a rivet if necessary. Regardless of the installation path or electrical connection, there are several factors that will not change. The hot topper wire must be run across the nose of the gutter topper, inside the bottom of the gutter, which is covered by the gutter topper, and down a downspout. If you fail to install the wire in these three places, the hot topper will not perform as expected. You may now reinstall the two gutter topper panels you removed at the beginning of the installation. Before you install the final heat diffuser panel, you will need to prepare the end of the hot topper wire. First, remove the outer jacket or the insulation about 2 inches from the end of the wire and expose the braid underneath. When removing the outer jacket, take precautions that you do not cut through the braid and into the base cable insulation covering the wire underneath the braid. Push back the braid and cut off about 3/4 of an inch of the base cable. Slide the small heat shrink cap over the end of the base cable and using a heat gun or torch, apply heat evenly until the cap shrinks around the end of the cable. Now pull the braid back over the wire and the heat cap and twist the end together. Now you may have difficulty pulling the braid back over the wire and heat cap. If so, it's okay to cut the braid on one side, pull it over the cap, and then twist the braid around the shrink cap. However, you must be extremely careful you do not cut into the insulation of the wire underneath the braid. Slide the 4-inch woven sleeve over the end of the cable, allowing for 1/2 inch to extend past the cable end. Take the 5-inch heat shrink tube and slide it over the woven sleeve, allowing for a 1/2 inch overlap on each end. Using the heat gun or torch, apply heat evenly to the heat shrink tube until it shrinks around the cable. Once you are done heating the shrink tube and while it is still hot, take a pair of pliers and squeeze the end of the tube and hold it until the shrink tube cools. The end must remain visibly sealed when you remove the pliers. If it does not remain sealed, reheat the tube and squeeze the end once more. The end must be sealed to prevent a short circuit from occurring. Finally, install the last heat diffuser panel. Now you are ready for the electrical hookup. A state-licensed electrician must make all electrical connections, whether you are tying into the home circuit breaker box through a junction box or utilizing a 110-volt electrical outlet with a GFI. Remember, all outlets used with Hott Topper must have a ground fault interrupt. Make sure your state-licensed electrician fills out the installation and maintenance log and keep that document with the customer file. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Gutter Covers International at 1-800-915-5888.